Today we're going to put together a triple tricep of arm and shoulder band exercises. The reason why I decided to do it this way is that the shoulder and tricep muscles are comprised of 3 heads. Now the biceps have 2 heads, but the brachialis, which is on the outer arm in between the biceps and triceps, contributes to the overall size of the arm and creates separation between the 2 muscles, improving our arm aesthetic. So I added it to the biceps to make the last group of 3. Each tricep will emphasize 1 head of each group. And once we've completed all 3 triceps, we'll have worked every part of each muscle. The first exercise I chose was neutral grip shoulder press. This is for the anterior delt. Now it hits the lateral as well, and because it's a compound exercise, it works the triceps, traps, and serratus anterior. A front raise would better isolate the anterior delt, but I have a slight shoulder injury right now, and that movement causes me some discomfort. And if a movement gives you that wrong kind of pain, don't do it. Find an alternative. An arm extended front curl is next. When you do an arm curl with your arms extended in front of you, it hits the short head of the bicep, much like a preacher curl or a spider curl. When this exercise is done with a band, you'll have a tendency to pull with your back. So to counteract that, curl with your hands high, aiming for the top of your head. For this exercise, I like to have the band set up about waist height. Wrapping them around a doorknob works perfectly. My bands have a protective cloth covering on them, but if you have more traditional type tubing, you might want to put a cloth between the door and the tubing to protect it from the door's edges. From here we move to the overhead tricep extension. Because the long head of the tricep crosses over the shoulder joint, this works it in the stretch position. The long head is the largest of the tricep heads and contributes the most to your overall arm size. That completes the first tricep. I target 20 reps for each movement, with no rest between groups. We start the next one with band pull-aparts for our rear delts. Pull-aparts is just one of those exercises that feels good to do. If a single band doesn't provide enough tension, you can easily double or triple up the band to get it just right. Now we're going to do curls with our arms extended behind our back to work the long head of the bicep. That's the one that gives our arms that nice peak. This movement also gives a good stretch in the bicep. For our triceps, I picked palms up tricep extensions. The goal is to hit the medial head of the tricep. You can't really work the medial head separate from the lateral head, so I'm going by feel on this one, as I feel it more on the inside of my arm where the medial head attaches. And if you pull your arm back behind your body, once you've fully extended your arm, you'll get a full contraction in the long head, making it so that you've now worked that head in both the stretched and contracted position. This moves us into the final 3 exercises, making for a total of 9. You do these one after the other with no rest in between, and you repeat the triceps 3 times, targeting 20 reps. You'll know you have the correct resistance if on the last round you have trouble or even fall short in being able to complete the 20 reps on each exercise. Lateral raises kick off this tricep. I do these thumbs up as it's easier on my shoulder, but in order to hit the lateral delt when doing this exercise, I have to lean forward a bit, because if you do it standing straight, it will hit your medial delts, which already get a ton of work with your pushing exercises. If you do lateral raises with a band anchored to something lower and in front of you, then standing straight will work, as the line of the bands lines up naturally with the lateral delts. Next up is reverse grip curls. We hit a bonus muscle with this exercise, as not only does it hit the brachialis, but it also hits the brachioradialis, which is more of a forearm muscle. Palm down tricep extensions emphasize the lateral head of the triceps, which is needed in order to achieve that complete horseshoe shape of the triceps. Now there's a few things about bands that you need to know in order to effectively build muscle with them. Watch this video next to find out what they are, so we can keep working out while having fun. This is Lawrence from Fit and 50. We'll talk to you again in the next one.